Hey guys, so this is just a quick overview of the supplemental material that comes along with this course. So if you scroll to the end of the slideshow at slide 116 and onwards, you're going to have this resources section. This is referred to a couple of times throughout the course, and I'm just going to quickly go through all the stuff that's in here. So if you're looking for Unreal Engine support, I have an Unreal Engine tutorial playlist on YouTube that you can find there. I've got about 100 videos in there. I cover all sorts of shit. Some of them are quite specific and niche, and other ones are more general. I'm going to show you some of the more general ones in a sec, but basically you can browse through that and find lots of tutorials for lots of different things. I've got a playlist specifically for artificial intelligence in the form of like enemy behavior, so using behavior trees. I've got it's a course there, probably about 10 hours long, for free on YouTube, so you can go through that if you want to learn behavior trees and learn how to do artificial intelligence. That's a good resource. I've got a Blueprints fundamentals playlist. So that's things like how to use interfaces, how to use behavior trees, how to save your game, just some sort of basic shit like that. So that might be interesting for you in Unreal Engine as well. And of course, I've also got some assets. So if you've purchased this course, which you have because you're here and you're seeing this, you get 50% off all of my assets for life. So because you're part of the in-group now, basically, we're building a community together and we're sharing resources. So, if you enter that code there into my Gumroad page, that's going to give you 50% off. So you can use that for my Endless World plugins. You can use that for my Flying AI, or whatever. And yeah, you can use those to streamline your own development. There's a section in this slideshow on like week 2 or week 3 or something where I talk about using assets. You can use free assets, you can buy assets or whatever, and they make your life a lot easier. Basically, once you build up a sort of library of different assets that you're familiar with using, it can really make your game development pop, because they're built by experts who do what they do for a living. It's like they spent hundreds of hours learning how to make these assets and getting all the skills for it, and then they put it out for like $20 or $40 or $100 or whatever. And that's basically a steal compared to the time that it would have taken to learn all those skills yourself and then develop that yourself. So using assets is a great thing for indie game development, which I talk about in week 2. So here are some of my foundational tutorials which might be interesting. So we've got ways to store global variables, some multiplayer fundamentals. This is quite an old video, but it's still relevant. It'll teach you the fundamentals. It's a bit choppy, the video, like the quality, but it'll still teach you how to do multiplayer if that's something that you're interested in. This is a good introduction to behavior trees. This is some save game stuff, a basic save game setup, and here's just how to keep your blueprints modular and how to use interfaces and things. Other resources for finding help: the Unreal Engine forums are very helpful. I like to post in there whenever I've got crashes or technical problems, and people usually are pretty helpful, so that's a good resource. The Unreal Engine Reddit is quite good, but usually what I do is I just share a link to the forums post and then people can see it there and respond there. Occasionally you get like real game dev veterans who see stuff that pop up in there, and they write you a little one-line response that just nails your issue, and it's just like, that's amazing when that happens. So if you've got technical problems, that's the place to go. You can also go to Unreal Source on Discord, so that's a Discord server. You can ask for help and chat in the channels there, but usually what I use that for is if I've got like a special problem that I don't want to do, I can put a job for like a freelance thing. So what you do is you go into any channel and you type / and then freelance and then press enter, and then you can use their bot to post the specific problem that you've got. And basically I've used this to get help for saving broken projects that I couldn't open. Like I've tried to change engine versions or had crashes and errors and things that I didn't understand, and so what I did is I posted a job in there and I had people solve that for me. So that's a good resource to check out. And then of course I'm gonna harp on about this throughout the entire course, is the private Discord server for the members of this course. So if you're not in that already, send me a receipt. You can find me in the public Slightly Esoteric game development server. Find my name and send me a DM and send me your receipt for the course, and then I'll personally add you myself to the private channels. And basically in there, that's going to be the sort of community that we build using for members of this course. So this is where we can get help from each other. This is where we can support each other's games. This is where we can share what's going on and share the struggles that we've got and share our victories and post development logs of our work and get feedback if that's what we want. Get opinions if that's what we want. There's going to be rules in that server. So the default is that you don't get unsolicited advice if you don't want it. That's the default. If you want advice, you can ask for it, but otherwise it's just a place for you to share stuff, get encouragement, encourage each other, and just witness each other through the journey and share resources. So that's going to be the best place to be. That's where you're going to get the most help. And the reason that's where you'll get the most help is because sometimes the best support isn't always the technical knowledge, but it's actually having a community of people who are consistently there for you, that you can rely upon, and who know you, have history with you, and understand you. The more time you spend in that server chatting with people, the more you'll get to know people. You'll get to know their strengths, you'll get to know your strengths, you'll get to know how you can help each other, and you'll feel a sense of connection and community because they're all people in the same boat. It's people who are making games just like you, they're figuring it out just like you, and we can all share information and we can learn and grow together. So please check out that, and please use it. Please use it as a resource. So here's some more from me. What have I got here? That's all my Unreal Engine tutorials. I think I talked about that earlier. So here are some more videos of me talking. So I have some videos on there where I talk about sort of like the mental aspects of game development, like staying focused and productive and all kinds of slightly esoteric sort of shit that isn't directly related to game development, but is more related to like being an artist and sort of the psychological stuff that comes along with developing a game and putting your work out into the world. As I already mentioned, you can download my plugins from Gumroad, and you've got 50% off for life if you're a member of this course, and then there's the Discord down there as well. Here are some links to some assets and resources that you might want to use. So royalty-free music on Pixabay, that's a great resource. The Epic Free for the Month is another great resource. I check that every month and I pick the assets that I want to download. Really, really, really good. And depending on your stance on AI, it's not for everybody. Not everybody agrees with it because the ethics behind it are sort of ambiguous at the moment, because they train their data on artists without their consent. So how you feel about this is sort of up to you. But if you want to do some scrappy 3D models, there are some good resources for turning pictures into 3D models. So you can check that out. You can do 2D images and things as well, but it's an industry to definitely pay attention to, because I just saw today about some deal in the US about $500 billion being invested into AI technology in the United States. Like it's going to get just more and more massive and more powerful. And I think what AI is going to do is, all the ethical issues aside, which I think desperately need to be resolved so that people are credited for their work, assuming that that's okay, I think it's going to completely revolutionize game development, because basically it's going to reduce the need for technical understanding of how computers and things work, and it's going to be like sort of like a game engine on steroids, where you'll be able to text prompt to make a game. So I think being familiar with those tools is very useful. And the other thing is just iCloud Notes. That's what I use to track all my game development ideas and my MVPs and things. And just the credits. Course content is by me, and any of the images that I use are on Pinterest, so you can click here to view that. That's all from the resources. Good luck with the course. See ya.